Hey everyone, just sporting an unchanged list here today from last leg, with the exception of Torpor being removed to add the third Grafdigger's Cage. So with the briefest of deck techs out of the way, let's jump into a modern league, shall we? And see how this one goes for us. Okie dokie. Alright, so we won the die roll. I don't recognize this person. Moniz 801. No idea. So we'll go ahead, get our companion happening. Opponent without a companion. We'll keep this hand, little aura light, but we could potentially get our ethereal armor back with Lurus. We do have a core spirit dancer to help draw our stuff. Opponent's mulligan to 6 as well. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start off here with the Temple Garden. It can be very important to make sure you make the right land drop decision. Vesuva, so this is Amulet Titan. So I'm definitely jamming Core Spirit Dancer here, and I'm going to try and get some stuff happening with Core. Suppression Field here is probably going to hurt me more than it's going to help me, I imagine. But anyway, we'll just go get Core down on the battlefield, see what we draw next turn, and at worst case we're going to have an Ethereal Armor on Core. Hopefully we can draw into some Totem Armor, or a Rancor. Alright, so they've just got the Explore here. There's a Valacult. Could get a little dangerous if our opponent draws a... wait, no, he'd need to play the Druid plus a land plus an Explorer, like Amulet Land Explore with the bounce land. Looks like we get a little land flood here. Land flooded. I'm going to go ahead and cycle Horizon Canopy. If we play the Suppression Field, we won't be able to cycle our Horizon Canopies without paying 3 mana plus the Horizon Canopy's tap to do so. So we don't want to play that just yet. Maybe later on, after they engineered explosives, maybe. Probably not still. Alright, so they've used a Relic to exile the graveyards. Looks like even the Amulet Titan decks are... Yikes. Okay, well, opponents just conceded the game. We weren't drawing any auras here. Okay, we would have cycled the Horizon Canopy, drawn the Daybreak Coronet. We wouldn't have been able to cast it that turn. The following turn we could have cast Daybreak Coronet plus nothing. Yeah, I feel like our opponent prematurely conceded there. That seems a little odd, but I'll take it. Definitely take it. Yeah, we've got like nothing good here to bring in other than these Force of Vigors, I suppose. Actually, Force of Vigor can hit the Druid or the Amulet. Other than that, maybe we'll... no, Grifspin's really good. We want to keep that in. I might minus a Keen Sense here. Probably going to be less important. Alright, so this is a Dried Arbor hand. I feel like we can keep it. We do have the Totem Armor, and we have access to Vigilance and Daybreak Coronet. If it gets late enough on... Yeah, okay, turn 1 Valacult, so no turn 1 Amulet, which is very nice. Let's go ahead and get our Dried Arbor out there and pass the turn. Hopefully no Lightning Bolt or any antics like that. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Alright, so they just bounce land. We drew a Slippery Boggle now. We might not want to go in on Slippery Boggle, honestly. I think we just want to get this Rancor down and the Hyena Umbra. We could have played Sentinel's Eyes, attacked for 2, and then cast Rancor, but then we leave ourselves open to them casting Druid. I guess I can't remove it just yet. Alright, looks like they're a little bit slower that they're doing, assembling their lands. Their accelerant so far has been 1 Explore. Gonna go ahead and get this Daybreak Coronet out. We're gonna attack. Now post-combat we need to decide whether or not to play Slippery Boggle or not. I think we don't. Because if he engineered explosives, casting a Slippery Boggle would probably be right up the alley of what I'd be looking to do. Alright, opponent's got 4 mana. He's cast an Amulet here. Beast Within, so that's going to trigger my Totem Armor. I'm not sure my opponent knew that interaction. And we're going to get a 3/3 Beast and get to kill our opponent all the quicker. Alright, so that's well and truly lethal damage now. Even without the Beast Within, we had lethal. Alright, so nice win against an Amulet deck there. Where's Amulet hiding on my list? Down the bottom somewhere, maybe? Titan decks? Alright, there's a win. First win of the current series. Alright, that's up to a rounded 64% now. And a nice, easy, quick 1-0 for the league. Alright, so back for round 2. We won the die roll. Again, I'm a big fan of winning die rolls. Up against Bofos, however you say that. I don't think I've versed this person before. They do have a little bit of prestige border going on, so they can't be too new to the game. It's also from an older set than my prestige border. Okay, so I think my opponent was doing a commander then. They are also an Allura deck. So here we're light 1 land, but other than that, our hand looks pretty reasonable. A 5/5 Boggle is pretty good. I'm going to look to keep this and just drop 2 auras on my second turn. Hopefully we don't get too hurt by Thoughtseize taking our first strike effect here. Be pretty bad as if we were up against Hardened Scales here as well. This hand's not particularly fast. My opponent just made a bit of a joke and said, how can you say that playing Bogles? Just kidding, and then good luck. So, interesting. They just fetched a tapped Watery Grave. Okay, let's see what we draw here. Looks like he targeted himself with his Mishra's Bauble. Wow, Suppression Field. Well, we can't cast that this turn. But next turn we can look to cast that. If I cast the Hyena Umbra here, I'll have something to do with the green mana from Dried Arbor next turn. So I'm going to go ahead and cast Hyena Umbra. Maybe we draw a land, and we can cast Rancor and Suppression Field next turn. So if we were able to cast Suppression Field there, it would have been good, but null and void here. Null and void. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to look to cast this Rancor down here. Post combat, I'll try to resolve the suppression field. If this is something like Death Shadow, we might be playing into a stubborn denial here. But I think ordering everything this way seems like the best idea to me in any case. I think just to planes, although it might get awkward if we want to cast both these hexproof creatures in one turn and Dryad Arbor dies, but I'm going to conserve life total where I can here. If this eats a counterspell, it's not the end of the world. Maybe we'd draw into a Daybreak Coronet or something next turn, and then his counterspell's sort of like blanked on something more important. Could be Remand? No? Okay. Well, that's just resolved. Has he got the Assassin's Trophy here? I wouldn't hate Assassin's Trophy. That would accelerate my mana into Lurrus, and then if we draw land next turn, we could go Lurrus plus Suppression Field. Wouldn't be terrible. Alright, well the Prismatic Vista is going to cost extra to sack. We do draw the Daybreak Coronet, so I'm going to go ahead and cast that, and then I think we can attack with both creatures, although if we attack with the Dryad Arbor, that's playing into Icefang Coddle a little bit, so maybe we'll just leave our mana up for now, and then cast a Boggle post-combat, actually. Alright, so... Looks like we got our attack in there. There is the Assassin's Trophy. We'll use it to get a mana. I will get a white mana here. I think that's fine. We're in a pretty good place because of how we drew that Daybreak Coronet. And Suppression Field was such a beating for them. They used it on Suppression Field instead of the Daybreak Coronet, their Assassin's Trophy. So, it's pretty nice. Yeah, I guess his best play here could be something like Uro. Gain some life. But, I think... no, he can't be playing Uro because he's got Lurrus. He could be playing Icefang Coddle though. Alright, we draw an extra copy of Rancor. So, I'm going to go ahead and cast that on my Boggle. Alright, and unless we get Cryptic Commanded here, we should be pretty good. Alright, so he's just going for the tap draw. It's a little bit upsetting, but you know, doesn't matter too much. We will eventually get to attack. And he needs another Cryptic Command here, or he needs, you know, another Cryptic Command, land, and then a Snapcaster Mage plus land for next turn to flash back one of his Cryptics. So I think we're in a pretty reasonable spot, really. Another line of his is play Lurrus, but that doesn't go too far for him. Alright, he does have the land, he does have a card draw outlet, 5 cards in hand. He could very well do the line we were talking about previously. Alright, we do get an attack step here. Let's see. Alright, it's good enough. So that is fantastic. Looks like we're against a little bit of a bug deck. Low to the ground, also running Lurrus. Suppression Field was pretty good there, but I might need to just take it out because I want to bring in these ley lines, right? Grafdigger's Cage could be really good too, so I might bring in 2 copies of Cage. I don't think I want to go too hard on Grafdigger's Cage. Do like the card draw from Keen Sense, sort of a decent amount of dyssynergy. Maybe I value the card draw from Keen Sense more than I value the Sentinel's Eyes, which is going to be difficult to get back. I I probably don't value the Grist Spoon that highly because they have Ice Fang Coddle. So might just take out 3 Grist Spoon, 1 Core Spirit Dancer, and the 2 Suppression Field to bring in the Leyline at 4 and the 2 Graft Digger's Cage. Seems reasonable. Or the Savage Swipe's pretty bad. I probably should take that out. I don't have time though. Something to keep in mind for game 3. So this hand would look pretty good if it had a hexproof creature and if one of these Daybreaks was like a Leyline of Sanctity or something. I think we got a mulligan, obviously. Alright, this hand's looking a lot better. We're going to keep this. I'm probably... Yikes. This is a tough decision on the what aura to bottom. I think it's probably Sentinel's Eyes. It has less dyssynergy with Cage than what Rancor does. And then we can start with our Leyline of Sanctity out. Hopefully we draw into land in our first 2 turns. And hopefully the Leyline of Sanctity is good. He can no longer target us with Misha's Bubble, by the way. He can only target himself there. Alright, looks like he might have an Arkham's Astrolabe here. Explosives on 1. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Alright, well, I'm probably just going to have to play this Slippery Boggle here. Oh wait, I 2'd through his turn? Oh my god. As if he hit 6 that quickly that we just got done like that. I dumpstered myself so hard then. Now he's a mana ahead of where he should be. Here comes the Tarmogoyf. Tarmogoyf's going to be pretty strong. That's not bad either, though. I'm going to go ahead and cast Slippery Boggle, but this Explosives is going to be a big, big issue. And the fact that I haven't baited its activation earlier by playing Boggle last turn is pretty bad for us. We're only taking 2 so far. He could Assassin's Trophy before damage, get rid of Leyline. Okay, he does not. It's a pretty decent draw. I'm going to go ahead and fetch a Plains. This is going to leave us pretty dead in the water to... I guess I use Rancor first. He can stop our Rancor from returning by activating this now, which he'll probably do. And I should have held my fetch because I could have baited that. Let's go ahead and cast our Graft Digger's Cage. We don't have access to Lurrus anymore, so it's not going to get us just too badly. Second Tarmogoyf. This game's looking increasingly lost. We do draw the Core Spirit Dancer. So if they don't have removal for Core Spirit Dancer here, we draw a Razorverge Thicket or a Plains, or then we can go Ethereal Armor plus Daybreak Coronet. Okay, they've got the Fatal Push. I guess we see what else they do this game. It didn't seem like Graft Digger's Cage was very good. What did we draw next? Another Core. Alright, well, we got done pretty hard by Engineered Explosives there. I think there's an argument for taking Leyline out here. Maybe bringing back in these Suppression Fields, and maybe bringing back in Core Spirit Dancer. And then that will give us access to Lurrus again, which seems pretty good. Our Savage Swipe, I said, was a little bit weak, didn't I? I'm not sure how much I love Cage either, then. I just run my original 60? Yeah, I think that's reasonable. It's that or bring in force for a once-off use. Although them reoccurring explosives seems like more of an issue to me than me killing one of his creature for an efficient cost. Alright, let's take out a Gristbone. At least we will have access to Lurrus this game, which is nice. Alright, well this hand does not have a creature, so I'm going to mulligan. This has got a creature, but it's 2 mana. I don't have any protection against Thoughtseize. I did board it out. And it's light on lands too. Well, this is just awful. Maybe I should have kept that hand. I guess I keep this one. I bottom 1 Suppression Field, 1 Windswept Heath, and the Rancor. I really wish I didn't tank that game by skipping through my first turn and also by cracking the fetch before I needed to. I could have gone in on Slippery Boggle there, on Dried Arbor, sorry then. But he did have the Fatal Push later on, so I don't think it would have mattered too much. Alright, he's got a way to get rid of our graveyard. I'm going to go ahead and fetch out this Dried Arbor now. So, see if we can landlock him with a Suppression Field. It's game on if we get this land lock here. Alright, he's got the Snow Forest, but he does not have access to a kill spell yet. We could potentially play the second Suppression Field here. Then he is never going to be able to crack his fetch lands. I think I like that. Alright, let's go ahead and do that now. Next turn we can do Ethereal Armor. Maybe if we draw a white source which isn't Windswept Heath, we can cast Griftspoon in the same turn. Doing this doesn't take that much of our tempo away. Mana Leak, wow. Well, he really doesn't want that to happen. I'm happier the Suppression Field getting Mana Leaked than an Ethereal Armor too. Alright, that's a Tarmogoyf. Let's go ahead and get this Ethereal Armor down. I'm not going to be able to attack yet, but maybe I can attack next turn. If I cast Griftspoon there, I can fly over for 2 damage. Maybe that's better. But if either of these cards go to the graveyard, they're going to be easier to get back than... Far out. Well, we lose our creature and land there. Hopefully we can draw a Gladecover Scout, because I have a feeling like he's got a lot of creature removal here. Maybe a land for Lurrus. And we can goal in on Lurrus. Far out. A cage, really? Alright, well, it wasn't to be. This cage turns us off of our Ethereal Armor. It's probably not a good play. Maybe it eats a kill spell. I don't know. We're now getting attacked for 8. That's going to put us to 7. I think we're losing to Snowbug here. Or Lurrus Bug. Well, too little too late. Definitely misplayed the second game, but I don't think I was getting there anyway. I think our opponent had the goods. Especially on like a Mold of 4 was that? That's pretty bad. Alright, so that puts us down to a 54% win rate. Obviously these, when there's not many games in the league, the win rate jumps around a lot from just one game. It gets influenced pretty heavily. Okay, so we lost the die roll. We're against NBA Tour 16. Guess this guy's been playing since 2016. This hand I think we can keep because, you know, Lewis. I might consider mulliganing this on the draw if I didn't have access to an 8th creature in an untouchable zone, but pretty happy keeping this. We can get Temple Garden too. Okay, so this is ad nauseum. So if we can rush them, this is a pretty rough matchup. Drawing all land as well is very awful. Like, it's not getting to turn 5 ever. No Lotus Bloom yet, though. Maybe he plays one of his prismatic prisms. Oh, what's it called? Pentad Prism? Pentad Prism? Maybe he plays that. Let's find out. Gemstone Mine. It's just a Thassa's Oracle. Okay. Alright, so he's getting a 2-mana Scry effect here. 2-mana Scry 2 effect. Essentially. I'm going to go ahead and crack this. I'm going to get the Dryad Arbor. And then I'm going to look to Core Spirit Dancer next turn. And we draw another freaking land. Oh my god. Alright, so 2 land draws in an already land-heavy hand. I guess I should have just got Temple Garden there instead of Plains, because I'm not getting killed on damage unless he decides to go for Lightning Storm, in which case it doesn't matter because it's the same. 20 is the same as 5 against a Lightning Storm, really, when he casts Ad Nauseam. There's the Phyrexian Unlife. Okay. Okay. So let's cast the Griff Spoon first. Maybe it should have been the Rancor off the Dryad Arbor, actually. Okay, we draw another Core Spirit Dancer. That's interesting. We could use the second Core Spirit Dancer potentially to go for a win next turn. I think I like that better. Our opponent's kind of been slow here. So 3 damage might just be good enough. For the time being. And then if we draw enough auras, we give 1 Core Spirit Dancer first strike, the other one not. Maybe if we get, you know, 2 Ethereal Armors, we Rancor the first Core Spirit Dancer. I don't think it's going to be quite enough. Has he got the Simian Spirit Guide? Okay, well, we just lose. Okay, well, we might as well have a sus on his deck. Pact of Negation. So we've seen a Pact of Negation, and that's really the only relevant card so far. Yep, so 2 Pact of Negations is the only stuff outside of the stock list that he's got there. Alright, so we want our Gadok Teagues. They will stop our opponent from casting Ad Nauseam. We also want these Torpor Orbs. That's probably about all that we want to bring in. Suppression Field is really, really useless, and this Savage Swipe is going to be really useless. So other than that, I'm happy keeping my list how it is. So we're going to run this one. Oh wait, we probably want some Force of Vigors if we can fit it in time. Grisburn, 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 sure. Maybe the Keen Sense out for auras that deal damage. Alright, let's go like that. Although removing the Keen Sense gives us less green sources, although we did bring in 2 Teagues. Maybe one Keen Sense can stay in for a Grist Boon. Alright, that was super messy, but we got there. Opponent's taking a little while to decide on their own sideboarding, so we got fortunate there. Okay, so now enters hard mode, but we do have sideboard tech. There is a Torpor Orb. I feel like that's going to be pretty decent. Although it's not that decent because they still have Lightning Storm. I might mulligan that. Alright, this looks a decent amount better. We can bottom the Dried Arbor and keep this. Worst case scenario, Keen Sense will draw us a card before we get to Daybreak Coronet attack. But, you know, it's only going to be an attack for 1. It's not that aggressive yet. Hopefully we draw into some stuff. I'm going to lead on Horizon Canopy so I don't reshuffle that one of Dried Arbor we've got. I don't really want to draw that. My opponent's also mulligan to 6. Alright, it looks like they've kept their 6. Go ahead, cast Scout, pass turn. We'll see if they've got a Lotus Bloom hand or something. This matchup's a lot harder now that we don't run Stony Silence. Because Suppression Field just does not stop their mana abilities on their artifacts, so... kind of sad, but, you know, it happens. It happens. Taking a little while to decide what he's doing with his scries. Oh, looks like my card world, which I... oh, great. That opens that screen, does it? Thank you, Magic Online. Beautiful. Now when this game ends, it's going to open to that screen again. Alright, so let's go ahead and cast this Keen Sense. We'll use that to get that draw trigger we were talking about a moment ago. Alright. Oh, really? Are you kidding me? Every time I don't click anything, I have to click 1 to cycle through that. I'll click on it there. This time, I just click it automatically to speed the turn up slightly, and it skips straight through my main phase into my end step. Well, hopefully that mana doesn't cost us the game. Let's go ahead and get Daybreak Coronet out here. It is the most damage. If the opponent wants to cast Pact of Negation, you know, that's good for them. They're going to just die from it. Unless they're Angel's Grace, I suppose, in their upkeep. But yeah. Alright, we draw another land, so that's kind of sucky. Looks like a Phyrexian Unlife's coming down. Let's leave this Boggle in hand in case we draw. So Lotus Bloom's coming off Suspend next turn. I'm just going to jam this Torpor Orb. Hopefully we draw a Force of Vigor off of the Keen Sense. We don't. Alright, well, we'll see if they actually have Lightning Storm. They might have cited it out for some weird reason. Because, you know, we might bring in Ley Lines or something. Maybe Torpor Orb's just good. Maybe. I don't think it is, but maybe. Play to your outs. Torpor Orb probably wasn't worth bringing in over something else. Okay, it looks like they've got their ad nauseum here. And they don't, you know, take much life at all from this. So they boarded in an Echoing Truth, which is sort of to be expected. Maybe they might have like a one of Bontus or something as well. Some Force of Negations. So pretty much we just need to see Lightning Storm and then we can concede. There's the Lightning Storm. Alright, well that's let's see the rest of his list. He's only got 9 cards left. Alright, and a 1-off Thoughtseize. Cool. Alright, well that was a really fun and interactive game. Coming from a very salty Bogles player who doesn't doesn't appreciate ad nauseum ever since the printing of Thassa's Oracle. So that puts us down to... Wait, what? Okay, maybe I didn't update my loss from last time. So we had 2 losses from this league. Two games remaining. Maybe I'm on 6 losses? Yeah, that's what I did though. Maybe I counted my my win rate wrong before, because 7 by 13 is a rounded 54, so maybe I counted it wrong. Alright, well that is a game against Ad Nauseam, a matchup I don't really expect to win all that much. I can't really see the deck here, but it's something we're versing a decent amount. I think it's spelt like that. Alright, looks like we won the die roll. Hopefully we're not versing Ad Nauseam again, because it doesn't mean too much against them. I didn't board optimally with those Torpor Obs. They were a wasted slot, but still feels kind of bad. Alright, I'm going to keep this. Opponent is also on a Lurrus deck. We have the play advantage though. We get a chance to get out our Glade Cover Scout before they do anything. And then we get hit by Mishra's Bogles and Inquisition of Kozilect to disrupt our hand. And they'll know whether or not a land is on top of our library from the Mishra's Bubble trigger. So we'll just go ahead and ship it across to our opponent here. It's very likely if they do Thoughtseize, Inquisition, they're taking Ethereal Armor. Alright, it's a blue deck, but they could still have Thoughtseize. Our earlier opponent did. Arkham's Astrolabe. Yep, sure thing. You got it, buddy. This is a card that never should have been printed. You get 5 color control decks that run Blood Moon. I mean, it's and a cantrip, and you know they get to abuse Teferi, Time Raveler, and its draw ability and draw 2 cards. So like, the fact this is not being banned is just absurd. It's so unfair for the decks that run it. I realize there's companions running around that are unfair as well, but this is like seen 1 to 2 bans and survived, and these probably won't see the next ban. They'll probably get banned on the next ban. Second Arkham's Astrolabe, a Mishra's Bobble. So he's targeted himself with his Mishra's Bobble. I guess he's deciding which land he wants to play. Fetch land, he probably... Oh, he didn't activate, so he doesn't want to shuffle it away. That's a Keen Sense, which is a nice draw. Alright, let's go ahead and cast that. And then I'm going to cast my Griff Spoon here, and then we can get onto our Rancors next turn. Maybe... What could our opponent be on if he's Lurrus with blue and a Flooded Strand and Arkham's Astrolabes? He can't be Stoneforge Mystic because they can't play Lurrus. Maybe he is like an Uro deck. And... Oh, is my opponent looking to counter this? That could be... not horrible. That could be okay. Spell Pierce. Thought Scour target himself. Okay. I guess he's trying to draw a Force of Negation there, but he didn't draw into it, so... we're going to attack here. We might draw a land which we can play in our second main phase. Alright, we miss another land drop. Hopefully we can draw into land for Daybreak Coronet and they like panic play an Uro here. Alright, so no Uro from our opponent, so I'm just going to go ahead and attack here. He could be holding up an Archmage's Charm, a Force of Negation. What, a V-click to block? Is this a Kiki-Jiki list or something? Okay, well that's not going to strip it off our Boggle, but nice try for our opponent. I think I still draw the card because the Enchant Creature's got it right. Wait, he drew the card? Wait, no, we drew the Scout, the Slippery Boggle then. I'm going to go ahead and cast this Core Spirit Dancer. Opponent just wasted an Archmage's Charm, so that's really nice for us. If we win these last 2 remaining rounds as well, we go back to a 60% win rate. See if we can get that done. So he Thought Scoured me that time, which is interesting. He did strip away the Temple Garden as well, which is frustrating because we are land stuffed. But also he's not Cryptic Commanding us this turn. Drown in the Lock. Okay, well that's fine. At least it's not countering a relevant aura. Land, come on, give me... Far out. Well, it speeds up the clock slightly. It gets us Totem Armor on the board, which could be important for Supreme Verdicts. So I'm going to go ahead and cast that. Maybe we finally draw the land source off of this next draw. Probably not, though. Alright, well... Did he draw a card on that? I didn't see. Well, he's almost dead anyway. See if he's got the Cryptic Command here. We draw another hexproof creature, so that's nice and useless, and it lags and skips through my entire turn because I hit... Yeah, okay, cool. Thanks, Magic Online. Thanks for buffering commands properly. Multiple times that's happened tonight where it's just skipped through because of the latency on entering a command, and then you re-enter it, and then you're screwed. Really good system they got going here. All these extra players and they still can't fix it. Well, anyway, we won the game despite not being able to play optimally and not getting everything we needed. So I'm expecting this to be an Uro deck. Gadok Teague seems pretty good. Suppression Field seems reasonable. Dried Arbor doesn't seem great, but we might need it. Cage seems reasonable as well because Uro, which I'm assuming they have. I think I prefer the Cage to the Torporob because I don't really want to deal with a 6/6 Uro. Even if it doesn't gain him life and draw him a card, I don't really want to deal with it. So we'll take out the Savage Swipe. They're a bit of a miss. Suppression Field's still probably going to be reasonable, so it's probably the Grispoons that get trimmed upon. Actually, we should probably bring in some Force of Vigors as well for a Core Spirit Dancer or 2 Core Spirit Dancers, because they're playing Arkham's Astrolabe and blue. So naturally they probably have access to freaking 5 colors. And, you know, it hurts their opponents way worse than it hurts themselves. Alright, so this hand's looking really good. We can keep this hand. Pending no Thoughtseize, I'm pretty excited for this game. We actually have access to our land source. We don't have Dried Arbor as a second land. And then fail to draw another land for the entirety of the game. Alright, so he's targeted me this time after entering the Watery Grave tapped. This sort of tells me that my opponent probably isn't playing a Thoughtseize effect, or at least it wasn't in hand. I don't know, like... I don't know. Seems weird to enter it tapped before you do the Mishra's Bubble activation. Because no Thoughtseize, no Serum Vision, no Opt. And I guess he's got Fatal Push, maybe? Alright, well that's a pretty decent draw. I'm going to go ahead and cast this Hyena Umbra first. If my opponent counters my Sentinel's Eyes, I can potentially get it recast it from the graveyard before I put Grafdigger's Cage on the board. That's very important. Okay, has he got the counterspell here? Mana Leak? Alright, whatever. Good on your opponent. No, I will not be paying for that. So here could be a really good chance to resolve this Grafdigger's Cage, actually. And I think I like that better, because if we draw land, we can go Core Spirit Dancer plus Sentinel's Eyes and get a draw trigger off the Sentinel's Eyes. It could backfire really badly though if we don't draw land, our opponent holds up counter magic and counters our last aura that we can cast. I'm guessing Grafdigger's Cage is going to be pretty good against what I assume is a Snapcaster deck. If my opponent didn't counter the Grafdigger's Cage there, I probably just would have cast the Sentinel's Eyes. Either expected the Sentinel's Eyes to get countered, or just get a whole bunch of free damage in when I attack. That's good too, right? There's the Field of Ruin. They might just be blue-black if they're running that. Just play Field of Ruin Horizon Canopy, and we're supposed to be upset about that. Oh, that's a pretty decent draw. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and cast... I guess I cast Core Spirit Dancer here. My opponent's expecting it. He can't Archmage's Charm. His best play would be a Mana Leak here. He can't Force of Negation either. So if we attack here, we attack into a Snapcaster Mage. I don't think I'm happy attacking into a Snapcaster Mage and then Core Spirit Dancer getting Fatal Pushed. So I think I'm just going to pass the turn. Alright, there's the Fatal Push. Called it. So hopefully that's his guards down and we can resolve this next Core Spirit Dancer and get a draw. Hopefully we get the land we need to do so. There's an Arkham's Astrolabe. They would have just drawn that one, or they would have cast it. Alright, we do draw land, so I'm going to go ahead and crack that one now. I'm going to shock this in to play around Field of Ruin, potentially locking us out in the long game. And now I'm going to cast our Core Spirit Dancer. Hopefully she resolves. I need to do it in this order as well, and not cast Core Spirit Dancer and then fetch, because they can Fatal Push in response to the fetch, but they can't do it when we maintain priority after casting the Core Spirit Dancer. So that will resolve, and before they get a chance to kill it, we have priority back. Alright, so that's the counterspell there. Not super sad about that. We do get the Sentinel's Eyes down now, and we removed 2 counterspells and a kill spell from his hand. So not terrible yet. Gonna have to look for a good spot to play both Daybreak Coronet and Gadok Teague here. And Coronet might unfortunately be pre-combat because he could hold up a Cryptic Command, which we don't want to play the Coronet into, but we don't have any way to attack into a Snapcaster Mage at the moment, regrettably. Maybe I just cast the Uro now and look to get some stuff. Okay, so they're recycling the Drown in the Lock. Does that enter the revealed card zone? That's so dumb. That should enter the revealed card zone so I can read it still. I think it's counter a spell or destroy a creature with converted mana cost equal to the number of cards in the graveyard. So here comes their Mishra's Bauble that they get to reoccur. Oh wait, no, they can't reoccur Mishra's Bauble. Grafdigger's Cage. That's right. Never mind. He's holding 2 mana up. He doesn't have access to Drown in the Lock either. So this is a really good spot to cast a Daybreak Coronet. It's only weak to Mana Leak here, which our opponent will probably have, but okay, of course he's got it. That sounds about right. Oh, he's got another Drown in the Lock. Counter target spell with converted mana cost less than... Yeah, so it's any spell. Okay, gotcha. So I feel like we look to trade with the Lurrus here, play the Gadok Teague. Maybe not. Lurrus is getting no value while Grafdigger's Cage is on the board. And if he's got another kill spell, I think he topped the Drown in the Lock. Yeah, and he didn't draw anything, so he's got a Drown in the Lock in hand now, which he can cast on my Gadok Teague, I suppose. But I'm going to look to get value out of this Horizon Canopy before he Field of Runes it as well. Alright, he's Field of Runing now. Yeah, gotcha. Let's go ahead and get Forest. Maybe we can convince him that we're out of basic lands and that we're only running 2. Alright, well we draw land, so that's awful. I'm just going to go ahead and attack with both creatures here, and then I'm going to cast the Lurrus if things go bad. Really upsetting we didn't get any Grispoons. Did I side 3 out? I sided 2 out. And we get one of our 2 Sentinel's Eyes when it's got the massive Nombo with Grafdigger's Cage. So if I cast Lurrus here, my opponent will just Drown in the Locket. I think I just skip on through. Looks like another Field of Rune here, potentially. Alright, so he does use his second Field of Rune here. Gets our last basic land. It's a very grindy game. I'm going to go ahead and we can't get our Dryad Arbor because Grafdigger's Cage is out here, so we get a Temple Garden. Finally, I didn't play into that. Alright, we do draw a Daybreak Coronet, which will be good to get that Drown in the Lock. Then we can look to cast Lurrus, and hopefully Lurrus lives. Alright. So let's see if Lurrus resolves here. If it eats a Cryptic Command, that's... Oh, it can't eat a Cryptic Command. We got Gadok Teague. Alright, he's got the Mana Leak as well. So opponent's on like mono counter spells. Let's just attack into this Lurrus. I'm still happy trading this because... if he ever deals with our Grafdigger's Cage somehow, Echoing Truth, Repeal, we want Lurrus off the board. One card left in our opponent's hand. They will draw another by the time it goes to our next turn, but they are running low on resources. They got to run out of counter spells eventually, right? Excellent. A keen sense. Let's go ahead and jam that. That's fantastic. So I was a little more reckless with the Gadok Teague before, but now that the extra Drown in the Lock is out of our opponent's hand, I'm happy letting him just sit there. Alright, we do eat Aluris here, which is pretty nice. And we can't cast this from our graveyard because Graph Ticker's Cage. I'm gonna look and see who top stacks better out of my opponent and I. Three mana. Archmage's Charm, draw 2 cards. That's a bit upsetting. So you got the kill spell now, Astrolabe, that's fine. Alright, so in response to his Misha's Bob draw, he's cycling here. Oh god. Oh god, what's he getting? Drown in the Lock? Far out. Mystic Sanctuary is just like a no fun, no skill card. This is so stupid. So dumb. Well, let's attack. It's gonna get killed by a Drown in the Lock. My opponent's smart here. He'd take the damage and hold it up until end step. I don't... Oh, Snapcaster Mage trade? Yeah, okay. Well, that's disgusting. We've blanked on Core Spirit Dancer and Auras for so many turns, and we've only drawn land. Like, any Auras... Any anemic amount of Auras we've drawn have just been, like, counted. Okay, we draw a Hexproof guy there. That's nice, though. I'll stop complaining momentarily. Our opponents still can't cast cards in their graveyard. We probably don't want to play into another Snapcaster Mage here. I don't know. Oh, Ethereal Armor's good. We do have mana for everything except Drown in the Lock. Maybe I should have held that so Drown in the Lock didn't get it. I think we attack here. The last card could be something like Cryptic Command. I think I'll risk it being the Snapcaster Mage because I don't think we're winning that anyway. Okay. Another Aura. Opponent draw a land. Okay, we've finally resolved an Aura. Holy cow. Let's go. Let's go. The clock begins. And this blue-black control, which... I don't know. Why wouldn't you just splash white for Celestial Colonnade? It seems pretty reasonable to me, right? If we play this Slippery Boggle, we can potentially increase our clock. Potentially get blown out by it. I think it's worth increasing the clock. Any 1-power Aura in the next 2 turns and we've got him on a 2-turn clock instead of a 1-turn clock. Sorry, instead of a 3-turn clock. Or 4. Okay, we somehow won. Opponent got a little bit upset and drew like 4 cards at the end there as well. So yeah, I think that was quite lucky, but I don't know why an Arkham's Astrolabe deck would only be running 2 colors. That seems just a little stupid to me. So that jumps us up to a 57% win rate, and we're jumping into this last round. Again, if we get the win here, we can get to 60, but that's a while away, especially after losing the die roll just now. Alright, I'll keep this. This seems good. Opponent with no companion. In fact, I've got 2 cores, 2 lands, access to Lurus. I'm happy keeping this. Stomping Ground. Is this Ponza? Ponza's going to be a bit of a tough one. Oh, it's Dredge. Okay, we can beat Dredge. We can beat Dredge. If Core Spirit Dancer lives, it'll be a pretty easy beat. Yikes. So he's got a turn 2 Prized Amalgam here. That's a very high roll from Shriekhorn. And he's got the Thug in his graveyard in his upkeep. Well, we might not get time to beat this. 1 Creeping Chill, 2 Merchants. Okay, so no further dredges. Not just yet. Could Cathartic Reunion to get his Shriekhorn back in there and cause us some issues. Our life total's starting to get pretty low also. Gonna go ahead. I don't think I want the Dryad Arbor here. I've got 2 white auras in hand. If I draw a third, Dryad Arbor is an absolute waste of time. Also, if I like play aura, like play a Grispoon or Hyena Umbra, draw Daybreak Coronet, I want to be able to cast it. Haggle. This opponent can discard the Shriekhorn here, get another Dredge, or Golgari Thug, pardon me, get another Dredge. There's going to be a Bloodghast coming out, so yikes, we're getting very low here. We pretty much need to rip Daybreak Coronet to not lose this. They've dredged a Creeping Chill, so Mission Impossible is getting a little bit more difficult at the moment. We do have very good graveyard hate for this deck though. And the Torpor Orbs will be very good too. Oh, another Creeping Chill. Are you kidding me, man? Double Creeping Chill. Oh, when it's not in garbage mode, it is in God mode, I tell you. Alright. Well, we lose this because Bloodghast gets haste. Alright, well, we did a GG, but with 1 G on each line. That was not intentional. It wasn't some sort of BM. So we want these Torpor Orbs. We don't want Gadok, get out of here. Bloody latency. Suppression Field is probably reasonable on the play, actually. Can probably take out 2 Grispoon and a Core Spirit Dancer. Other than that, these Savage Swipes are pretty bad, and as are these Keen Sense. Maybe we'll want to just take those out instead and bring back in Core Spirit Dancer and a Grispoon. I think that's good. Okay, what the hell just happened? I just clicked on something funny. Let's return to the game. Submit. I must have hit league details instead of submit. Alright, well, I'll keep this. Could be weak against a kill spell or something, but or a Nature's Claim, but oh well. Core Spirit Dance is freaking strong. And we've got the card we need in the matchup, which is Daybreak Coronet. 100%, that is the card that wins this matchup. Alright, excellent. We draw another 1 mana aura, so I can actually look to protect my Daybreak Coronet here. Yeah, excellent. He's got 3 lands in the graveyard from his Shriekhorn and his fetch, so no dredging cards yet. That's a Stinkweed. Hopefully the turn's not too aggressive. A Creeping Chill already, and another 2 dredges into the graveyard. Wow, he is high rolling hard. Super hard, unless his deck list has been refined. Have we seen Ox yet? Maybe he dropped the Ox and he's just got more dredge creatures and they realized that the Ox wasn't that good, or the Ox with Creeping Chill isn't that good. Maybe you can have either Creeping Chill or Ox, but not both, because it leaves your dredging outlets too low. Golgari Thug cast. Okay. Well, I'm fine with that. That's a Razor Edge Thicket. I'm going to go ahead and lead on Ethereal Armor here. Our Core Spirit Dancer has survived as well, which is really nice. Another Daybreak Coronet. I still think I want to... If I cast Daybreak Coronet here, I'm guaranteed to spend at least 3 mana next turn. If I draw 1 more 1 mana spell, I can go off. Okay. Well, I could have gone Sentinel's Eyes and Ethereal Armor there. We could get blown out a little bit harder by Enchantment Destruction here, but we will get 3 draws and we can play all 3 auras this turn. So even if he Nature's Claims here on this Ethereal Armor, I think we're still in a good spot. Alright, well that's that. It's good enough to get us there. Oh wow, opponent GG'd when he lost. That's very uncommon. Might be slightly weaker than the Grisbone now that we are on the draw. I don't think we want Force of Vigor here. It'd only be for Shriekhorn really, maybe Blood Moon. Also to note, these dredge decks can bring in discard, but I don't like bringing in ley lines. I think it's far too narrow. Okay. Alright, well we got a double graveyard hate hand here and a double creature. So we're pretty good if our opponent turn 1 Thought Seizes. We're going to need to draw into some auras though. We also have mana for Lurrus, which is nice. Yeah, this isn't amazing, but I think on the strength of Graveyard Hate, it's good enough. We also are on the draw, so we get to see another card than our opponent. We basically start on 8, even though we're starting a turn later, right? So that's a Stomping Ground here. Looks like he's got Haggle, or Merchant Haggle, whatever it's called. I'm going to go ahead and cast Plains. Maybe it will throw my opponent off. Go for the Cage here. Maybe he's got the Nature's Claim instead of the Haggle that he'll look to cast. Alright, he has cast Haggle. He's not going to be able to dredge properly though. Oh, wait, he can dredge, they just won't enter, pardon me. Looks like he dredged a Nature's Claim too, so that's good. He's probably got a Cathartic Reunion now. I think this is the point where we probably want to start casting our guys. So we can put First Strike down now. That's pretty good. And then next turn we can Torpor plus Rancor attack. Okay, he's hardcast Merchant here. That's not going to be good enough. Let's play this post-combat. It might change his blocking decisions. Next turn we can use Forest to cycle Horizon Canopy, and if we draw Daybreak Coronet we can shock in Temple Garden and cast it. Or we've got access to cast any aura or creature in our deck, aside from Lurrus, who's technically not in our deck. He's in sideboard, exile, companion zone, whatever it is. It's not exile, it's like its own zone that you can't interact with ever. Guess he's in a sideboard zone. Much like when someone plays Khan the Great Creator or that Nissa that tutors sideboard cards. It's their own special sideboard zone. See if he attacks. Alright. Guess if he does have a 2-mana blocker or a 3-mana blocker, he might still have a Nature's Claim for the Hyena Umbra. Might look to get us on Death Touch. Oh, Blast Zone on 1. That's a pretty good one. We can reload from that, though. Alright, so let's go ahead and attack for 4 here. We'll see if he prematurely pops his Blast Zone. We can cast Lurrus in any case. Alright, looks like he's saving it till the end step. I am going to go ahead and cast Lurrus here. When he pops his Blast Zone, it will destroy our Grafdigger's Cage, so we will be able to recast our Hyena Umbra. Hey look, I'm no longer scared of Blast Zone, guys. Alright, well he's got no dredging creatures in the graveyard either, but he can Cathartic Reunion, etc. into one. And start adding some pressure onto the board here. However, Lurrus does have lifelink, so I'm just going to go in on Lurrus. Oh, he's got the Abrupt Decay. Dang it. Conflagrate for 0? Okay. What do we draw here? Nothing too exciting. We can still cycle this Horizon Canopy and... Okay, that's a good one for next turn. Put our opponent to 3 here. He can block 3 the damage, potentially. So I have a feeling like he needs to have a very good turn to go off and win this, but I think if his best thing is like creature plus nature's claim on the Rancor and then look to stabilize better next turn after destroying Rancor. Because if he instant speed Rancors and blocks, okay, so he's just conceded the game. We do get the win there. That does put us at 2-3, and that does put us, sorry, at 3-2, and that does put us back up to 60% there. We get our entry back, which is always nice, as I'm always stating. So let me just double check that was... Okay, that is a 60% win rate. If I did a little bit of quick math and third the 9, I probably could have got that in my head. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the list at the moment. Maybe the most questionable side, I think, is the Savage Swipe. That could very easily be 2 more Keen Sense, or Keen Sense and a Spirit Link, or 2 Spirit Links, or even 2 Cartouche. I think the major flex slot is the Savage Swipe. I think I still like the Suppression Field in the main deck as a tool. As far as the sideboard's concerned, seems pretty solid to me. Maybe we can't deal with Lurrus decks as much as I'd like, or maybe a couple of Stony Silence would be nice, because there's been a fair few matchups where I would like to have Stony Silence and I don't. Maybe you can minus a Grafdigger's Cage and a Force of Vigor for 2 Stony Silence. I'm going to think on that. I might do that next league. We'll see what happens, but yeah. Stay tuned for more, and as always guys, let me know what you think down below. I really appreciate your feedback. Thanks guys.